Are we ready to die? We very well know that none of us is going to live forever. All of us are destined to die. The icy hands of death will spare none. The young and the old, the sick and the healthy, the rich and the poor are equal in danger to become its prey anytime, anywhere. If death is so imminent and impending, should not we be very well prepared for it? Merely realizing that it can come anytime is not sufficient. Some practical steps need to be taken so that not only do we meet our Lord such that He is pleased with us, but also we do not leave our family and heirs in any spot of bother. For a God-fearing person, the foremost preparation for death is that he leads a life of virtue and shuns vice. He never becomes persistent on a sin, and whenever he is soiled by its stains, he immediately washes them by sincerely repenting before God. He has to maintain this priority all his life as far as he can. Now, besides this God-fearing attitude, which is constantly required from us as a preparation for death, there are some other affairs as well that need vigilance and attention. And I'm going to enumerate some of these. The first one is that a will should be made for the assets and wealth that a person might be leaving behind. A person may be sensible enough that the will made should not in any way may infringe upon the rights of the actual heirs. In this regard, as directed by the Quran, Muslim husbands must make a will in favor of their wives regarding their maintenance in case they become widows. This means that after passing away, for 1 year, residence and maintenance will be provided for the widow. A will can also be made in favor of the heirs in case a particular heir has done some special service or is in some special need. The second important thing is that a person may own intellectual property like books, magazines, websites, in particular if they are a means of financial return. A clear view about these assets should be documented and given to the heirs. The third thing is that a person may be involved in financial obligations and transactions known only to him. This includes borrowing, lending, as well as business and work liabilities. A list of all these financial obligations must be documented, and a responsible person must be directed about what he must do about them. The fourth thing in this regard is that the person may have in his or her possession important documents and papers like licenses, agreements, checkbooks, old bills, and things of a similar sort. Similar is the case with keys and passwords. A list of all these should be made and the heirs should be guided about them. In case a person wants to, he or she should also make a will to donate body organs that may prove useful for others. This is in fact an act of great virtue. The sixth thing that is important here is that family relics and artifacts can also be in a person's possession. Their caretaking and smooth transfer to the next generation must also be thought of beforehand. The seventh thing in this regard is that a person should be sensitive about body cleanliness and hygiene. His or her mortal remains will soon be in the hands of people who will bathe these remains, enshroud them, and consign them to the grave. A lack of physical cleanliness may make the bathers form an embarrassing opinion about the deceased. So these are some of the important areas about which we all should write down a memorandum and a will as soon as we can and lodge them in a safe keeping of a trusted person. Of course, as long as we live, we can keep making changes in the will once made, depending upon the circumstances that may arise.